Welcome to the You Person podcast, a deep dive into how a new way of knowing is developing holistic, innovative leaders at all levels of the organization and changing the way business does business. I'm your host, James Tuznia.
Pretty much, we think that, a child becomes 18 to 21 and they're an adult and that's it. But that relationship to ongoing development so that they can upgrade, like the rules change and they're going to constantly change. And so who you are needs to change and we need to be oriented to that. We're always told change is certain, but our relationship to it is not that. In terms of ourselves, we think, well, this is just the way that I am.
That's the structure of the industrial age education, because the industrial age education was contexted on the idea that they actually didn't want you to continue to evolve.
Yes.
You needed to take your place on the assembly line. And if you kept evolving, there's no way in Hector you'd want to be on that assembly line. So it was actually designed to have you get stuck. So that is the old way
of business. Doing business is structured from that operating system.
Yeah. And it was designed, like it said that within a culture, you're up level to the average of your culture, you get a hand up. Once you want to transcend your culture, then there's actually a pressure to keep you down. And then got accented by our industrial education. And largely our system of education is still there. It's not actually designed because our human brain-mind system was actually structured for ongoing development ongoingly. So as you were referring to, Shelley, the actual structure was meant to, at the very least, have you getting to rational through high school and moving to plural so that when you entered the world, where you were being now going to be asked to change in an ongoing way, that you would at least be a plural structure of mind so that you could be present to and open to all the different requirements that you would be exposed to in the world, all the different cultural views, all the different skill levels that you'd have to transform through. So that plural awareness would have you open to that with an idea that you would transcend plural and actually at some point not just be open to all the different cultures and all the different views and all the different offers and all the different requirements, not just be open to them, you would actually integrate them as one holistic, unitive, integral system and then move from that. So now you're not just rational, you're integral. So you're moving to trans-rational, moving to a second-tier unitive 21st century Hugh person. And when you get to second tier, that's not the end. That's just another octave of stages and structures that continue to evolve. And that's our birthright as Hugh people. And it's built into our system. And we have a cultural system, however, that wants you to stay at, well, depending on where you are in the world, maybe tribal and concrete literal, and in the Western world, maybe rational, and that's the culture war because the traditional, quote unquote, isn't that thrilled about rational and certainly not post-rational. The traditional modern and postmodern, it's built in to not have that movement. I mean, that's why we have culture war. As a Hugh person, though, it's our birthright to continue to grow our awareness.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the You Person podcast. If you are new to the podcast, please head over to our website, theyoupersonproject.com, where you can subscribe to the podcast, learn more about the project, or connect with our team. You can also reach us at hello@theyoupersonproject.com. If you think of someone who will benefit from listening to this podcast, please do share it with them. Thank you again, and see you on the next episode of the You Person podcast.